wanted to talk to you guys about what it was like to be a child and just how I was different. And yeah, just some things that I learned about God's heart as a child since He's been with me my whole life. But first, I'm going to show you guys something that I've been working on. It's miniature garden. I don't know if you guys are like into all of that, but I love doing little miniature gardens because I love to just imagine being in this world. And yeah, this pure holy world. Okay, so I'm gonna show you my little hobbit house. Got some little firewood here, little lantern. Yeah, that would be awesome. And then just to walk down the path. It's so cool to live in this little house and to swing on this little tire swing, this little thing here. And then to go walking through the forest and go fishing. And then go to the park, enjoy some ducks and a picnic. Yeah, so I just want to talk a little bit about what it was like being a child and being a child of Jesus. Okay, so basically I was a very shy and timid little girl. I didn't have a lot of friends. I had maybe, if I had friends, I had like one or two that were that I pretty much was friends with the entire school year, and I didn't stay in the same place very long because my parents moved around a lot. So I lived in 5 different states and went to about 10 different schools during my childhood. So and a lot of you probably already know this, like my parents were divorced, and so yeah, I had a really hard childhood. But during that time, when I was in school, like grade school, and there was even a time I was homeschooled for a short time. And when I was in grade school, I went to the public school system. I even went to the private Christian school system, and which really isn't a Christian school because the teachers and everybody there are all like Pharisee hearts. They're all a part of the church system, and they're a part of the world, so they're not really set apart as they claim. But anyways, when I went to these schools, I was just so different, and because I was quiet and shy, and I didn't want to like be somebody that I wasn't, you know what I mean? Like I didn't want to pretend to be somebody that I wasn't. I was just me, and I wasn't a part of the popular crowd. Because I was so shy and quiet, and I didn't like the same things that kids liked. I wasn't fake. So, anyways, when I would start these new schools and stuff, Jesus would really talk to me, like he would comfort me and tell me that I wouldn't be alone, and he would tell me that, to just, that what I was feeling, like the fear of going to these places, like school and church and all that stuff, where I was normal. Like he would tell me, like, you're normal, Jackie, but these people around you aren't. Like, they're the ones who are actually not being sensitive to me. And he would say that it wasn't his will for me to be put in these places, but since I was in these places, it was just, it's what my family did. They took us to school and church and all of that, and he would just say that while I was in those places, he would teach me lessons about the heart and about what mattered and stuff. So I really learned to analyze people from a very, very young age. Gosh, from the age of like 3, I remember Jesus talking to me about the adults around me and just in general. And yeah, so like he would comfort me, and I would be on like a new school bus going to a new school or whatever, and he knew I was scared, and he's like, you're not alone, I'm with you. And I was just treated terribly. I got severely bullied at every school I went to for no reason at all. Jesus showed me that they were just envious of me. They were jealous of my light. They were jealous of me, so they tried to break my spirit, and Satan sent so many children to to try and break my spirit. Like, I remember a time when I got jumped by, I think it was about 5 kids when I was on my bike. For no reason at all. Didn't even know these kids. Just started going to this school for like maybe a couple weeks. And I was going down an alley. I was riding. I was riding home from school. And they jumped me. And they spoke all kinds of evil to me to try and, break my spirit. And to try and just destroy my heart. And this happened everywhere that I went. Grade schools and even high school. I only went to 2 years of a public high school, and then I dropped out and I finished and got my diploma online because it's just so much was going on at the time. And yeah, so like during that time, Jesus would talk to me, and he would tell me that he was teaching me. It's hard to explain, you guys, but I was in spirit with God. He was with me all the time. I would talk to him at night. I would go under my covers and talk to him. I would cry to him about things that were going on in my life. I was always talking to God. And he would talk to me and share things with me. And he's been talking to me ever since I was in my mother's womb. And he told me that he sent me to this world to become his light. And I made a video about, like, things that he taught me when I was in the womb. But I just knew who he was. He made himself known to me at such an early age, before I was even born. I just knew when Jesus was talking to me, and I knew that he was always looking out for me. He made that known to me, that he was always looking out for me. And he taught me wisdom about the hearts of others and why people were fake, because they wanted to impress others, because they were worried about what people thought about them more than what God thought about them. And people just constantly wanted to impress people, like to please others. They're just a ton of like people pleasers. And that's what was different about me, was I saw how fake it was. I would talk about how fake it was. I would talk about the things that God showed me of truth and how different the world was, and how it just hurt God's heart, the behaviors of people. And I had a lot of deep conversations with children, and they would just look at me like I was strange. I would daydream out the window at school. I just wasn't interested in a lot of things that children were interested in. I would be on recess looking up at the sky and sitting under a tree and talking to Jesus, and I'd be playing with sticks and grass, and I'd be watching ants, and the ants became my friends. The trees became my friends. I know that sounds strange to some people, but even the wind became my friend, because the wind was faithful. I knew that the wind was going to show up and that I wouldn't be alone. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but Jesus would always send the wind to me to comfort me when I was alone on the playground or whatever. And even when I played sports, like when I played softball, in between like innings, I would and this goes for like high school too, I would run out of the dugout and I would just sit there and I would talk to Jesus and play in the grass until it was my turn to like either bat or until it was like our turn to take the field. So like, I've just always been this child who was set apart, who God set apart, and I just knew that this world wasn't my home. I knew it was temporary. I was very sensitive. I was very, like I said, quiet and shy. But when I did have things to say, they were very deep and meaningful, and they were truth. And a lot of people would just look at me like I was so strange, and adults and children, And that's why I didn't have a lot of friends. So I would spend a lot of time fishing alone. I would spend a lot of time talking to God outside. We lived on a farm, like kind of farmland. We didn't farm or anything, but we had barns and stuff, and I would go and I would play in the barns and just sing to Jesus and talk to Jesus, and I'd cry to Jesus when things would happen in my childhood, like in our family, because it was dysfunctional. So like, there was a lot of things going on, but I just knew like Jesus was always with me, and he told me that he was going to raise me up one day to be his messenger, and that I was going to be able to finally have a voice that had power, a voice that had might, a voice that had the power to heal people and manifest his miracles on this earth. And yeah, that's what he's been doing through me for like the last, I don't know, 8-9 years, whatever it is, on YouTube. And just in life in general, since he came to live within me and baptized me with himself. So it's just amazing. It's amazing how, like, God is just, he's with his people. He's with his few remnant, even from, childbirth on. Like, I just have always known Jesus, and I just get to know him more and more as each day passes. Excuse me. And, yeah, it's just amazing. It's so awesome, you guys, to be handpicked and hand-chosen by God, and to really just be able to take this life and to manifest his heart any way that he leads me, and just to share how beautiful he is. And yeah, I want to make more videos about this. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about how peculiar I was as a child, and Jesus was the same way. He told me that he wasn't popular, and just like I wasn't, people were offended and jealous of him, and you won't see this spoken about in the Bible, because he hid a lot of this from people, because Jesus, he had a pretty rough childhood. He was bullied and stuff. So he and I have a lot in common, and that's what he would say to me when I was a child. He would use, like, his experiences to comfort me, and he would say, I know how you're feeling right now. I know what it feels like to be bullied and to be accused of something you didn't do, or, if you did something and you made a mistake and someone's falsely accusing you of having the wrong heart motive or an evil heart motive. Like, he would tell me, like, and when you're angry, I know that it's because you're not getting the love that you want to receive and need to receive, and that I long for you to receive, from your parents in that time, or whatever the situation was. Like, God, he validated my heart so much, and he was such a best friend my whole life, and he still is. And yeah, he even prophesied me getting married. He told me at the age of 8 that I would find my husband, and that his name was Paul. So, and I didn't meet him until I was 14 or 13, so, like, I was looking for Paul all those years, and he prophesied to me about having a son and a daughter when I was a child, before it even happened, and I'll make more videos about that. But yeah, I just wanted to share how beautiful Jesus is, and just how awesome it feels to be set apart and to be peculiar, and just to be the child of the King, Oh my God, he's so amazing. I just love him so much. Yeah, it's so amazing, you guys, how so few there are, and it's really sad. It's just sad that more people and more children, like, there's even children who aren't sensitive to God, like, because there were children that Satan would send to, like, hurt my heart. So I just know that there's just so few who are set apart, and it's just the most beautiful thing to be God's child, and to be his remnant, and to be his church and his love. He's so amazing. Anyways, just wanted to share it. Like, I love talking to Jesus about this. He was talking to me about it, and he's like, go make a video, let's tell people, share some of this stuff with them. So yeah, there you go. God bless.